Alexander Benedict Cummings, political leader of the Alternative National Congress, 2 times trying for the presidency, never made it. Welcome.
Thank you, Julius. Good to be with you. Been a while.
Yeah.
Good to be back in studio. You make me feel underdressed, though.
Oh.
I mean, you got a suit tie.
I think yours is better.
If I knew, I would have put on my suit and tie too. He didn't want me.
No, I knew that I was going to talk to a corporate executive too. So I needed to match him.
All right. Well, I must have disappointed you.
Yeah. No, not really. That is more African.
Exactly. It's more comfortable.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Do you sing?
Do I sing?
Yeah.
Oh, God, no. If I start to sing, you will run. Everybody over there, they will tell a radio station off. Unfortunately, I don't. I love music.
Okay, which ones?
I like African R&B. R&B is probably my favorite genre.
Okay.
But R&B, African music, jazz. So my musical taste is eclectic.
Okay, yeah, a mix up, yeah, and that.
Mix up, yeah. But I can sing though.
So when you say African, like, do you have some songs that you love?
So my favorite Liberian song is "Grateful" by Denj.
Okay.
That's my favorite Liberian song. So
and you even know the name of the artist?
I do. I met him.
Okay.
I like the song so much. I arranged to meet with him. I got an award in Atlanta from my alma mater. I used to be chairman of the board of Clark Atlanta University, and he gave me an award, Lifetime Achievement Award, and that's the music I had them play.
Okay.
When I was introduced, for the award. So, yeah.
AB, please try and find Grateful for us at some point in time in this interview.
Please.
Yeah, before we take calls.
I like the lyrics very much, and of course the music is beautiful, right? But the lyrics, I encourage people to listen to the lyrics.
Okay.
It talks about being grateful, about being blessed, and it expresses my life and how I feel. Yeah.
Good. Okay. It is there. We have it here. Good. What about R&B? What's your most favorite?
Oh, so I will show my age, but I like OJs, I like the Commodores.
Okay.
I like Ashford and Simpson.
Yeah, Commodores, there is this popular
I like
Commodores.
Stevie Wonder. So that's I show my age. That most of the people listening probably don't know all of those artists. You maybe, but
I know because I follow music a lot, so I know
Okay.
about the Commodores.
Right.
They have a popular song that I was trying to.
Yeah, just to be close to you, or Zoom,
Yeah.
or 3 Times a Lady. Those are all Commodore songs.
3 times a lady.
3 Times a Lady.
Are you a romantic person?
I am. It might surprise people.
Yeah, because myself, when you say 3 times a lady, then I'm like, Cummings doesn't come across as a romantic.
I come across as all these negatives, but I am a romantic. Yeah, seriously. I like ballads. So most of my songs, all these artists, OJs, are all mostly ballads.
Well, then let's talk more about you. Who is this Cummings? And perhaps we will even drive to how you managed to get your wife and all of that, by being a romantic.
I would love to share that.
Yeah, give us a little background about you.
Yeah, so as you may know, I grew up in Point Four. My parents started very modest. I went to demonstration.
Which one?
Demonstration school on Clay Street.
Okay, this one here.
Yeah, on Clay Street.
That's a public school?
Yeah, it is. Then I went to CBA, Ashmore Street. President Boyka went to CBA. President Ellen Johnson said he went to CBA. So there's a track record there. I went to Cuttington. I worked at LBDI. I went to graduate school. I have 3 sisters, 1 deceased. My father started as a cadet in Ministry of Education, and then he rose up. He actually left government when he was in his early 50s. I don't think anybody does that. I went into the priesthood full-time, Episcopal priest.
Oh, okay.
So very strong Christian values. My mother didn't finish high school. My father went to university. He got a scholarship. He went to school in Lebanon, American University of Beirut. Did a master's of public administration. But my mother only finished high school. She was a practical nurse, so she learned nursing on the ground. But I think what's relevant there, Julius, is the values I picked up from my parents. Hard work, integrity. My mother used to always say, hard work, don't kill anybody. And that discipline stuck with me. My mother was kind of the disciplinarian in the family. She used to beat us. right? We were at 10. My father was more the
Were you stubborn?
intellectual. Whenever I was told you had to do something, then I would resent it. I would be so. Every Sunday we had to go to church. Whenever it was my decision to go to church, I enjoy service. Whenever my mother and father, you come to church every Sunday, then the whole service I'd be vexed, right? So I don't know if that's stubbornness or how you describe it, but those values of treating people well, integrity, hard work, is who I am. It's kind of come from my upbringing, my family. The attitude of giving back. I always start, Julius, I've been very blessed in life. And so I've helped many Liberians in multiple ways, but I don't talk about it because I think it's disrespectful, right? And people say in politics.
Well, you are a politician.
Public. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm a new politician, right? I was business, private citizen, right? So I'm learning now that as a politician, maybe I need to say more about what I've done. And the list is exhaustive, right? What is scholarships, what is medical supplies, what is generators to BWR, to the Muslim University on the Old Road. The list goes on and on. What is paying WAC, school fees. But those are all values that came from my upbringing. My mother was a small businesswoman. She used to sell women's clothes and garments. Maybe that's where the business side I inherited, I went from. One of my older sisters is in education. Maybe she got it from my old man. My father was in education. So my sister has a PhD. One of my younger sisters who passed away was in the church. She was a reverend. Maybe she got it from my father. So we all get things from our parents, right? But that's a little bit about who I am. I like music, hobbies. I like to read. I like to walk.
Yeah, I saw you walking one time in Cinco.
And I still do that.
You and your wife?
My wife and I, yeah. I've been married now for over 40 years, Teresa and I. We got 2 children, my daughter Ayo Nike. So my maternal grandfather was Nigerian, my mother's father. So the Ayodele, kind of a Yoruba name. So my daughter named after my mother, Ayo. And then, so Ayo Nike, she got a full Nigerian name, Ayo Nike Cummings. And my son, Boykai. I had an uncle and cousin named Boykai.
Because I almost asked you if you name him after President Boykai.
Yeah. Well, President Boykai, my friend, but it was after my aunt was married to Boykai, passed away. And his son is also Boykai, passed away. So I named my son Boykai, but he's Boykai Alexander. So I gave him my first name as his middle name. Okay. And then we've got 5 grandchildren, 4 biological, 1 adopted. So I got a niece and a nephew. So that's the immediate family.
What is the secret for which some of those who people think got it together? They usually have 1 or 2 children, 3, 4. They hardly have many children.
Yeah, I mean, we had 2. I think Teresa wanted a 3rd child, but we got 2. So once we got a girl and a boy, then we said, okay, we got 1 each, and we decided to stop there. And the way I think, by the way, I was thinking, you got to pay for the children to go to college, all that kind of stuff, right? So maybe I should stop at 2.
Okay, so at that time, you were not there yet.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
So, but I'm always a person who thinks ahead, Julius.
Okay. I'm
very planful. I'm deliberate in what I do. And some people find that boring, or they find that, maybe the man's an elite. I like to start on time. You know that, by the way, right? I think it's disrespectful to keep people waiting. Look, sometimes I'm late too, but not often, because things happen. Life happens, But I think you should be on time. Time is money, it's efficient. Because I had a chance to run a very large, complex organization, Julius, time was important. If I'm calling the general manager in Japan or in Indonesia or in Lagos, he needs to pick up the phone. Or if he's calling me, we say 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever it is, we got to be on time because many other things to do. We got to deliver. We got to be accountable, right? So that's how I'm wired.
How did you get involved with Coca-Cola? Tell us that story.
Yeah, so I want to tell how I met my wife too, though. But
we'll come back to that. Okay, no, let us do that before we go to Coca-Cola. Talk about how you met your wife and to be married for 40 years.
Yeah, 42 now, yeah. So it was another Liberian girl. Was in the U.S. It was she's deceased now, Howard Cummings. Howard and my wife knew each other. So my wife was the guidance counselor in the dorm. And we were on the campus of Atlanta University Center, and they were across the courtyard, a big courtyard on the other side.
How did you go to that university?
So I went to graduate school.
Okay.
Yeah. After.
Was it a scholarship or you paid for it?
Partly scholarship and partly paid for. I worked all the way to graduate school.
Okay.
So I had a full-time job at a bank, in the operations section of a bank, and then I used to go to school.
Okay.
So it was tough working full-time and going to school. But then I had a partial scholarship. But Howard was across, and she was with Teresa. She literally, I never met Teresa. She said, Alex, come meet your future wife.
Wow, just like that?
I swear to God. Just like that. She said, Alex, come meet your future wife. And then so Teresa and I met, and, went to the movies on our first date. And I fooled her. I cook for her. I don't cook.
Do you cook?
I like to eat. I don't really cook.
But you just managed to cook.
But I managed to cook. Yeah, I job her. She thought she would marry somebody who could cook. And
very interesting.
And we're very different in the sense that I'm more of an introvert. And people say that's why they say I'm not friendly or whatever else, because I'm quiet and stuff. And Teresa is the extrovert, is the yin and yang. So she remembers names, she talks to people. We go out, she's mingling. And for me, that's hard work to mingle because I like my music, I read my book. Right now, that's not to be a politician. That's not a good trait to have, right? But we're different that way. She's a warmer, friendlier person. So that's what they say, yin and yang, right? That's what kind of make. But I also have a philosophy. They say, happy wife, happy life. So your wife happy, life will be good.
And you've tried to make her happy.
And I try to.
At what point did you make the decision to marry her?
We dated for about a year. And then we decided to get married.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since then, what are some lessons you can pass on to younger people listening in managing their marriages? Because to be married 42 years, through everything else.
So you have to, what I call make trade-offs. You can't have it your way. You got to make compromise. So you got to compromise. Sometimes you will get your way. Sometimes you won't, and both parties need to understand that. Both parties need to understand, Julius, that you're no longer doing decisions by yourself. You make decisions for you and your wife, or your wife making for she and her husband and for your children. So you got to always keep that in mind, right? You got to work at making sure you're meeting each other's needs, making each other happy, understanding what irritates one person versus the other, right? It's a lot of little small things that you need to do. But the key is to recognize that you have to make compromises. It cannot be all one way, right? You can't have it all. Everybody got to make compromises to a marriage, and you got to again recognize that your decisions are no longer yours alone.
I'm going to ask you some very tough questions that may get under your skin, but that's the nature of an interviewer like me. Being an executive who rose to the top of companies and all of that, did you get tempted to cheat on your wife?
Yes, you do.
And did you do it?
No, I did not.
Why not?
But because I felt it would be disrespectful to my wife. There was no need to do it, right? All my needs were being met, right? But I would lie if say the temptation wasn't there. I mean, I'm human, and women are attracted to powerful people and that kind of stuff, right? So it's all about the discipline as well of not doing that. Yeah.
Good. Now, the Coca-Cola story. How did you get to that top? Was it because people favored you? You know, someone liked you in the system and just kept promoting you, or what?
No. So I always start my success to say I've been very blessed in life, and a lot of my success, and I think for all successful people, whether they admit it or not, is providence, is blessing. And I want to always start there. Mm-hmm. Then there's the things you do, right? Is the discipline, the hard work, is the recognition, Julius, that you don't know it all. So it's about building teams of people. It's about getting people who are smarter than you and not to be intimidated by that. Because as you rise up as the leader, people will remember you for success or failure. So in my mind, and I'm glad I learned that early, get the best people who smarter than you, make sure they can work together.
That can be intimidating.
It can be. But when you get results, you as the leader will get the credit. Or you will take the blame. This is why it's important to get the best talent. One of my biggest strengths, I tell people, Julius, is that I'm very comfortable with who I am. I know what I know. I know what I don't know. And I want to get people around me who will help me with the things I don't know. I don't want to hire people on my team who are just like me. I always say I don't want too many mini Alexes, mini me, or who will just tell me what I want to hear, because you're not helping me. I want people with different point of view, smarter in certain areas, and that was the key to my success, building the right teams, holding people accountable. So if we're supposed to deliver results, I'm very results-oriented. If we say we're going to do something, we're supposed to do it. It's not about, cutting corners. Excuses, right? It's simple as people say they're late because of the weather is raining. That makes me vex. It'll rain every year for at least 6-7 months in a year. We know. The traffic will be heavy when it's raining. So you just get up earlier. So you can be on time. When I used to run Nigeria, it used to rain in Nigeria. When I first got it, people would make excuses about the rain and weather. I said, I'm sorry. Not an excuse. Right? Or the power situation used to be bad just again. Power bad every day, not going to go away. We got to work around it. Right? That's the only way you can achieve results. So simply in Liberia, if we want to change Liberia, we can't make excuses for each other. We need to push each other.
We will come to that. Where did you start from in Coca-Cola?
So I started in Nigeria as what was called regional manager. I was a general manager for Nigeria. And so we moved to Lagos. I lived in Nigeria almost 3 years in that role as general manager.
Were you in Liberia? Were you already living?
No, I was already in the States.
Okay.
So I was working for another company called the Pillsbury Company.
Okay.
In Minnesota, Minneapolis. And I became vice president for Pillsbury International, Investment of Finance, at 36. I was the youngest officer to make VP at the time at Pillsbury. And to your point earlier, Julius, it wasn't because I knew somebody, didn't know somebody. It wasn't my father's company. Again, blessings, providence, but then the work ethic, the discipline, the focus, the results delivery, the building the right teams of people, the making the tough calls. Sometimes people are not performing, you try them in a different role. They say not performing, you let them go. But you let them go with a dignity. You don't make them feel like, whatever. So I went from Pillsbury, where I was an officer, and I joined Coca-Cola in Nigeria. I was managing the entire Coca-Cola business. At the time, it was the second largest business in Africa for Coca-Cola. So I did that for about almost 2.5, 3 years. Then I became...
What was the interview process like?
Look, questions about my experience. What have I done?
I mean, in terms of
what results?
Those that were also applying for the job, did you have an idea of who they were?
Yeah, I mean, it was always a competitive situation, right? But again, people look at your history, your track record. What have you done? What success you've had? What failures? What have you learned? How have you managed teams, people, etc., etc.? So, questions along those lines, interviews along those lines. So we got the job, and then we did it very well. We were very successful. I got promoted to run half of Africa. I was based out of Nairobi, so I went from Lagos to Nairobi. And then within a year, I took over all of Africa, the whole Africa group, right? 54 countries. Initially, I was based out of London, and then I moved the group office to Johannesburg, and it's still there today. I ran the Africa group for 7 years. We more than double earnings. We grew volumes. We introduced new products. We started the Coca-Cola Africa Foundation, something I'm very proud of, to give back to communities around the continent. Then I got a global role, executive vice president and chief administrative officer globally. So almost all the company's functions, strategy, human resources, legal, information technology, IT, all of what we call the technical functions, R&D, quality, procurement, manufacturing.
That is, you
all
came
reported
from,
to me.
so that means you came from managing Africa to that role.
To a
Now,
global role.
I know there were managers for Europe, for Asia, and all of that. So obviously, it was a tough competition. How did you sail through that to be able to dominate those powerful countries?
Results. When I ran the Africa group, there were two groups that were the best performing. The group from Latin America, which was a bigger geography. So Latin America, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, and the Africa group. And you had the U.S. America, you had Asia. The Africa group and Latin were the two best performing. Consistently deliver results every year. We grew volume, profit, good quality. The scores in terms of our people satisfaction, all were the best. And so it's those results that my boss at the time saw, who was chairman and CEO of the company, asked me to come to Atlanta from Johannesburg and take over all of those functions on his behalf. We did it for 8 years, and we did it extremely well. So I'm very proud of my record.
Sometimes people think it is working with such a company like Coca-Cola. There are those who think there's already it is a templated kind of job. There's a template. You really don't have to do anything difficult. It is already there just to deliver.
That's complete nonsense. You have to put templates in place. You have to change the templates when they're not working. So, like whether it's a country or any company, if you just assume you will keep the same template and the world is changing around you, everything else is moving and it will still work, you will fail ultimately, right? So yes, there are processes and systems. You have to constantly change it. You have to constantly adapt it. All right. You have to move structures, people, right? So it's nonsense when you think you just can keep the system and don't do anything to change it. So we change systems. In fact, in the 8 years, we migrated to new young leaders. The people I inherited on day one, when I left, it was a completely new team, right? That was part of the change process. More younger people, more forward-thinking people. We're changing all the functions, right? We introduced more technology to run the company, more systems and technology, right? More innovation, right? So you have to constantly change to keep up with the world, the technology, people's taste, etc., etc. Look, running a big company is like running, some ways similar to running a government, some ways very different. In big companies, you got to assemble the right team of people. In government, you need the right team of people, your cabinet versus your team. Mm-hmm. In government, you got to deliver results for the voters. In business, you got to deliver results for your customers, right? Those are some very similarities. What's different, though, in business, people self-select to join a business, different kind of behaviors. In politics, you got everybody. You got to satisfy everybody needs, right? So it's more people intensive. There's some politics in companies, because anyway, you got people, you got some politics. But politics in government is different. It's a different dynamic, right? But you can apply those things. But the idea of holding people accountable, of delivering results, those apply, right? We cut people too much slack, right? In government, people get away with stuff because the government is politics. No. Yes, you got a patronage everywhere in government, but holding people accountable, building the right teams, delivering results for citizens, etc. The same kind of things you got to do in business. Making choices. You can't do everything in business. You don't have all the money, so you got to choose. In government, you got to make choices. You can't fix everything at the same time, or otherwise you do nothing well.
But all of these times, what is your footprint in Liberia? What have you done? Have you done some things for people here, for the country, different initiatives? Have you?
Yeah, what I would tell you, there's a whole list. I got it here actually. And as I was saying earlier, my values didn't allow me. I didn't feel comfortable, publicizing all the things I've done for our country and our people. But I would say compared to almost any other politician who's run for office at any level, I have done more for Liberia than any one of them. And let me go to the list, because I did it because I I suspected you asked this question, and Liberians ask this question all the time. What have I done? And so, in no particular order, we have paid WAC fees for students. We have brought medical supplies to almost all the major hospitals. Rennie.
Yeah, I think someone from your team sent me this.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi's and provided tutorial for over 4,000 students from over 40 schools across Liberia. We're $6,000, 2016 and 2017. Right?
Yep. The list goes on, right? Generators at BWI, generator at the
So let me just read what they have
scholarships. Yeah, please.
Yeah, let me just read it. Provided a 350 kVA generator to Booker Washington Institute to enhance their learning capacity in support of vocational technical education. That was 2016, $67,000. 2016, $1 million Liberian dollars. Established a scholarship financial aid program with the University of Liberia Student Union. Partner with the African Methodist Episcopal University and provided scholarships and financial aid to students. Approximately $1,673 US. 2016. Sponsored the inter-high school debate. Provided prizes of first Isaac A. David $2,000 and second Samin Douglas Memorial High $1,000 respectively. 2017. Design and publication of Nimba Community College Yearbook first graduating class $8,000. 2016. Partner with Chicago Bar Foundation in providing safe drinking water in deprived communities in Painesville and Margibi County $3,000. 2016. Annually, Cummings Africa Foundation makes contributions for operations of the Alexander B. Cummings Model Science and Technology School in Dupo Road, Painesville. Building expansion, 2018-2019, $120,000 and $197,000. That's the Cummings Africa Foundation Health Infrastructure Support Project. Distributed medical equipment to 6 referral hospitals across Liberia, CH Rennie, Kakata, Margibi County, CB Dumba, Banga, Bon County. Government Hospital, Grand Bassa, JJ Dawson, Maryland, Coran, Lutrin, Zozo, Lufa, and Biapo Health Center, Fishtown, River G, and 2 clinics Star of the Sea, Clinic West Point, and Robert Moore Clinic in Johnsonville, $565,000, 2017. Established a Cummings Scholars nationwide scholarship program at tertiary institutions, $93,000. That's $93,723, 2017 to 2019. CAF, that's Cummings Africa Foundation Innovation Bazaar, showcasing main Liberia products, $5,000, 2017. That's a whole lot. And your scholarship from 2015 to 2025 for tertiary institution, $160,049. From 2015 to 2024, Alexander B. Cummings Model Science and Technology School, $680,837. Anti-rape and gender-based violence from 2020 to 2021, $42,744. COVID-19, 2020, 2021, 2020, $78,291. 2021, $109,802. It is a whole lot. I will stop right there.
It is not a comprehensive list either, by the way.
Wow.
We've done more, but again, the point is, Julius, though, and that's the learning maybe in politics. I need to have people know this. So, the next time I make any donation anywhere, I would just call the press and say, y'all come see what I'm doing for Liberia, right? It doesn't feel right to me, right? I help because I've been blessed. I didn't do it for political reasons. I wanted to give back, my family and I, right? But we get no acknowledgement. We get no credit. And the critics kind of use that. When at the same time, again, people with elected office at every level, the list not even close to that, right? Mm-hmm. But look, that's okay. The facts are there. And to the extent we can, we'll keep helping our country and our people, but I will just make it more public.
Before we get to governance issues, I need to ask you this. Mr. Cummings, are you gay, adjective, or are you a gay noun?
So I'm going to maybe use an abusive word on your program.
No, please don't.
Accusation is complete bullshit. Sorry.
No, please.
And I will not use it again. I had to say that, but now I would say BS maybe to clean it up a bit. But it's complete nonsense. We just talked about Teresa and I, marriage over 40 plus years, children, grandchildren. Talk about my Christian values. Growing up in a Christian home, my father, Episcopal priest. That is just complete nonsense. It's political. The guy who started making up that stuff, and then I'll talk about the quote unquote interview, because nobody,
sure.
they don't play the interview in full context, right? They play parts of it. But the guy who made it and started to push it was a sedition, right? And so the CDC pushed it, but UP pushed it even more. It comes up kind of political season is when they use it. And I always say it's a kind of the political class, the people that benefit Liberia from the way it is today and don't want it to change. They use that kind of spurious, sickening accusation against me.
Have you ever supported gay initiatives?
No.
Personally?
No. There is nothing that has been said about me in politics that has bothered me more than that accusation. Because politics is politics. People make up stuff. I won't use the other word I use. But it's complete nonsense, complete BS, Julius. And again, nothing else pisses me off than that. And Liberians, I think, underneath kind of know that that's not a lifestyle I support.
So
and I'm not quote unquote gay.
Let's come to the late Mamadi Diakite interview. What was it? What were you saying, especially when you say it is a lifestyle that you struggle to?
Yeah. So it's a style I struggle with because I do, not for me personally, but I struggle with people who live that lifestyle. So that was the struggle, not my struggle.
Oh, okay.
It's a struggle.
Like how to deal with them, how to.
No, just the choice of that lifestyle is the one I struggle with. I don't want people. I struggle with people who live that way. That was the point. It wasn't about me struggling with it, which is how people interpreted it. But it's good to play an entire interview, though, so you have the full context and not that clipping, right? That's the piece that people don't understand. And again, it's just complete nonsense, and people twisted it, right? Because they know this is something a lifestyle Liberians don't support, and I don't support it either.
At any point in time in your life, you've not given, whether it is financial support to gay organizations or whatsoever?
Absolutely not. Never. Nobody can find anywhere in the world any trace of me giving money to any gay organization. Nowhere. In fact, they can search.
Maybe people think because you were in corporate America where these things are allowed.
They are allowed. So yes, in America today, it's allowed, right? Per the U.S. Supreme Court, and in big corporations, it's allowed. And I managed a big corporation, but personally, not a lifestyle I support or a lifestyle I practiced.
Or you encourage someone to?
Of course not. I don't support it. Why would I encourage, someone to do it? No, that's not true at all.
Is there any reason we don't see? I don't know if I've ever heard or seen your children around your politics.
What about my politics?
Your children I've not seen them around your politics.
My children came. My son was here for the 2022 election. So my children are grown. They're in the early 40 and 42, right? So they have their lives, children, etc., etc. But they do come to Liberia. My son, particularly my daughter, comes as well. So my daughter teaches, and she's an actress. My son runs our family office business, and he does other stuff on his own. He lives in South Africa. He's married to a South African. But they do visit. My granddaughter was here in the 2017 election. She went around. She was, I think, 5 or 6 at the time, and we took her around when we were campaigning. So, yeah, the kids do come by, and the grandkids do come to visit as well.
There's this tag that you are an elitist. You don't, and we are coming to the governance things now. You don't, people do not see themselves in you. They cannot gel with you. You cannot gel with them. You might be perhaps a selfish kind of person and all of that. What do you say to people?
So, if you look at my generosity, the list you just read, nobody can say I'm selfish, right? I don't think any Liberian ever in the history of this country has given this much back. So the selfish piece, I am a quiet person, right? As I say, I'm an introvert. When you're in politics, you can't be an introvert. And I contrast that, with my wife. I think sometimes, Julius, some Liberians, not, of course not all, elitism and high standards, right? Because I like to start on time, I like to hold people accountable. I'm kind of a no-nonsense guy. Some people construe that as being elitist. But for me, it's just for 40 plus years working in corporations, that's how I had to deliver results, right? So people confuse that. But anybody who knows me, all the political party people, I've been meeting some young people the past several weeks. They are actually surprised by who I am, my nature, my personality, etc. And this is what I need for Liberians to see, is that other side. I mean, this is why people need to understand I went to demonstration school, government school. I went to CAB like many people, like 2 former presidents, so that's not any different. I don't think anybody called President Boga elite because he went to CAB, right? I went to Cuttington, right? So it's about how I've been defined, and I need to redefine myself in the eyes of Liberian people. And I'm spending a lot of time meeting people in small groups, because that's when people can really get to know you, as opposed to the big rally and you're at a distance, etc. People don't know who you are, and we get other people, testimonials, people who can say Mr. Cummings is not how he's been described.
Are you able to run Liberia as president? And what does it mean to be the president of Liberia? What is it that a president does or is supposed to do?
Yes, I'm able to run Liberia. But it's not an easy job for anybody. And, to pretend the job is easy would be, a huge mistake, right? It's complicated, it's challenging, but it can be done. Julius, other presidents run the country bigger, more complicated than Liberia, and they run it more successfully. So it can be done, not easily. I would need a lot of help. That's why I talk about building teams.
Okay.
You gotta get the right people in the right jobs, right? So the cabinet, people that run the various agencies, the various state-owned agencies, you gotta get the right team of people around you. You gotta get people who are smarter than you, who are experts, people who will tell you the truth when things are not working, right? So yes, if you look at the complexity of what I've done, size, countries, currencies, regulations, people competed with Chinese, Americans, Nigerians, Japanese, Israelis, Kenyans, and we were successful. And we led and managed them, right? Yes, we can lead and manage Liberia, but it will be a hard job, and we need a lot of help to do it, right? But I'm confident enough that we'll get the right people with the right experiences to complement mine, so that we can move the country forward and lead Liberia in the right direction. And we'll make the right choices, right? Because we got to make choices if we want to fix the country.
What do you think are the most pressing needs of the country?
Fixing and growing the economy, creating jobs. We got many challenges. We can talk about agriculture, education, health. But this thing called the economy or job creation for businesses to grow and to thrive and create jobs is the most critical thing, so that the average Liberian can feed themselves. They have a job, that they can pay their rent. Some statistics, the global hunger index raised Liberia at the bottom, 112 out of 123 countries. That means at least 2 out of 5 Liberians go to bed hungry. This is not Alexander Cummings statistic. This is a fact, right? Liberia is the 9th poorest country in the world, per the World Bank. This is not Alexander Cummings. So we need to fix the economy in a way that Liberians can feel the impact of it.
And how do you do that?
Multiple things we have to do, right? First of all, is the choices we make with the money we do have. So we have a $1.2 billion budget now. That's a good accomplishment. By the way, I said in 2017, that budget should have been over $1 billion a while ago. But it's a good accomplishment. Check. Now, how do you allocate that money to create jobs? One, we should be investing more in agriculture. We are not. Again, this is a fact. People should check the numbers.
Yeah, $30 million across the sector.
Yeah, almost 13.7.
Yeah.
Right. If you're serious about creating jobs, growing the economy, you got to invest more in agriculture. The global benchmark is 10%.
Of your budget.
Of your budget. So that should be 120 million. Now, we'll not do that overnight. You can't go from, where we were to say 120. You got to do it gradually, but it should be increasing. It is not. We should be investing in tourism. Tourism will create jobs fairly quickly, right? And in fact, let me go back to agriculture. When I say invest in agriculture, it's not just in farming. It's in processing, right? We should be rice milling, right? Cassava processing. We should be investing in both farming and processing, right? Because again, value add, you will create jobs in that process. I mentioned tourism. Invest in tourism, put the infrastructure in place. These things will take time, but you'll create jobs. Providing loans to Liberian businesses so they can grow their businesses, you will create jobs in that process. So whether it's micro loans to market women or loans to small Liberian businesses, you will create jobs.
People have always given loans.
Not at the scale and not at the interest rates that will make it. Today, if a business person,
what would be
let me finish.
requires
If a business person borrow money from the bank, even before the business start making money, they gotta start paying the bank back, right? You will never grow your economy with that kind of lending scheme. So if the government means they need to subsidize it, make a fund available, let the banks manage it, right? But make the money available, right, to loan to businesses, you will begin to see growth in the economy and create jobs. We need a national youth service program. I think the president mentioned something like that in his speech. I hope they do it because, again, it's not a long-term solution to youth unemployment, but it will help until you can grow, the economy, et cetera, et cetera. So those are just some examples. The whole regulatory environment. Look, the business registry website has been down for over a year. Somebody can go check it now. It's not coming soon, so that's a fact. If you're serious about small people starting businesses and getting the business register, technology will help in that process. The registry should be working, right? Is the investment commission, are they out there selling the country? Have they packaged the country in a presentation to say
the chief foreign policy expert of the country is the president? Even before you come to the foreign minister and all these other people, how will you, as a president, sell your country for investment opportunities? People say, for example, people judge Weah based on football, what his government have accomplished in football. People will judge President Buhari on agriculture because that's the sector he came from. He is critiqued for his government giving 13 plus million to the sector out of 100 or 1.2 billion. You were just critiquing him. You will be judged on. Cummings was a global businessman and all of that. Your ability to attract investment to this country. How will you do that?
So, multiple ways. The first, though, Julius, is we got to create an environment that is what we call business friendly. So we can't make it difficult for people to register their business. We can't make the regulatory environment so onerous. This is where again some of the corruption, stealing come in when people got a bribe to get things done. You got to change the environment. The judiciary has to work, has to be functional. So first thing is to make the environment business friendly, conducive for businesses to thrive. Then we got to identify the sectors we want investors to focus on. So yes, there's what you call the extractive industry, our iron ore, our gold, and our diamonds. And by the way, we got to make sure we're getting full value for those resources, right? But then we also, agriculture is an area where, in addition to supporting Liberian farmers and processing, we should be trying to attract big plantations right across from Ivory Coast. They're potential investors to come and invest in Liberia in agriculture, right? I mentioned tourism. So you got to sell the country. You got to sell what our opportunities are, the sectors that we have strength in, and you got to go around and talk to business people, some of whom I know, right, to come and invest in our country. But we got to create the right environment. We got to make it easy for people to do business. This is where, that's the corruption. You got to give people money before you get stuff done. All of those things we're going to get rid of, right? Get the environment right, and we attract business, and we'll be able to grow the economy and create jobs.
Talking about your reaction to the State of the Nation address, of course, these are some of the things that you mentioned there. It was not just it was not only a critique, but you also provided recommendations to the government. Others say, well, some of those things are already being done. You were talking about farm to market roads. The government is bringing in 285 yellow machines to do that.
Yeah. So look, the what's the word I want to say? The way people frame the question is that is one or the other. It's either or. That is a binary decision. It's not. It's and. It's both. So roads are not only important. We can do roads, but we can still take care of the bread and butter issues, right? We can still. Why is the NSA budget going up by 50%? Why isn't that money put into agriculture, right? Why is the legislature, 103 people, being allocated 55 or 51 million US dollars? Why is
Plus
that money?
Staff.
Why is that money not going to increasing the salaries of police officers, teachers, healthcare workers, etc.? Why is the minimum wage for civil servants not at least $300 United States dollars? So it's not.
It's not doable, Mr. Cummings.
It's the money. It's not either or. It's not either or, Julius. It's the choices you make, how you allocate the funds within the budget. So rather than allocating to the legislature, why not cap it at $25 million, whatever the number is, reallocate that money, right? Why increase the NSA budget and there's no auditing of the NSA? We don't know where that money is going, etc. By 50%. Why not reallocate to those things? Those things will affect the bread, the stomachs of Liberians. You will get the multiplier effect. If you increase somebody's salary from $150 to $250, $300, it would spend more. It would support more people. That's how you begin to affect the. So it's not either or. We gotta find a way to do both, and there's these choices we make in terms of how we allocate the limited monies we have within the budget.
This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We have with us Mr. Alexander Cummings, political leader of the Alternative National Congress. We've been talking about his personal life. We've been talking about his reactions to the SONA and all of that. One of the things you were taking on for was saying, CDC, UP, nothing has changed. And in fact, almost every time when people want to talk about the successes of this government, they mention that even though they said nothing has changed, but this has changed. Why would you say nothing has changed when in the minds of many people, clearly some things have changed?
I think, Julius, if you ask the average Liberian, right, if their lives has changed over the past 8-10 years, I think most Liberians will say their life has not changed. In terms of, are they able to get 3 meals a day consistently? Are they able to pay their children's school fee? Are they able to get health care? I met with some University of Liberia students a few days ago, mostly young women, and it broke my heart. They were saying at the Fennel campus, there is no place for them to eat and have no bathroom. They got to go in the bush. They told me this. In 2026, Liberia is 178 years old, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that is so basic. So, more roads have been paved. That's a good thing. That's why I say it's not either or. It's and. Right? So, some things have improved, but in terms of the life of the average Liberian person, the teacher, the healthcare worker, the policeman, the military person, average civil servants, their lives have not fundamentally changed in the last 10 years or so. If you look at the statistics, right, I just quote you some. The hunger index, that's not, I didn't make that up. The 9th poorest country in the world, I didn't make that up. Those are just the facts.
So maybe will you rephrase it to say some major things have not changed, or were you holding the government to account by their promises or by the ability that they said they were able to deliver upon, and not just because they could do some things here and there?
First of all, I think we should be, and I am unapologetic about holding the government to a high standard.
Okay.
Because we will not change Liberia. I say we should be in a race to the top. We should be pushing each other, right? Look, Julius, everybody in the government gets paid. The president, the vice president, the ministers, the assistant ministers, the legislators, the head of the city agencies, they all get paid. They get scratch card, they get fuel allowance. We're not apologize for holding them accountable for delivering for the Liberian people. They're not doing it for free. They're not doing us a favor. These people, and they have the authority, they have control of the resources. So I don't apologize for holding them accountable because they're not doing it for free. And in Liberia, we should hold them accountable. We should push each other. If pushing the government makes them do better, it makes it harder for us to replace them, that is a good thing for the country. We want to make it harder, push each other up. Instead of that, we're pulling each other down. We in a what I call a race to the bottom of the barrel. We run it down as opposed to pushing each other, racing to the top of the barrel. That's part of our problem. And my appeal is to young people. They are the ones that are suffering. They come out of school, hundreds and thousands every year, coming to no jobs, right? And we got to push each other. We got to be more demanding. We cannot be celebrating painting the ministerial complex as if that's an accomplishment. Sorry, it's not. Maybe that's what people call me elite. It's not about being elite. It's about pushing. Otherwise, Liberia will not change. We gotta push. We gotta be demanding. We gotta run faster. We can. We're so far behind. We gotta be in a hurry. The energy. Everybody should be working. We need a 24/7. One shift should be working. The next shift should be starting. The next. I'm being somewhat facetious, but I'm illustrating the amount of work we need to catch up with the rest of the world, and for our young people to feel the impact, and they gotta drive it. They gotta be part of that exercise of running and pushing and demanding that we don't accept status quo.
Were you ever approached by now President Weah to be his running mate?
I was not. I don't know why there was this fallacy. I don't know if it was intentional. Maybe it was.
There were people who say you were egotistical. You only wanted presidency, so you did not even create any room for such negotiation to run.
Nobody ever approached me to be vice president. You don't run for vice president, right? You get chosen. It's not a job you run for. You run for senator. You run for representative. You run for president. You don't run for VP. So I was never asked to be VP.
Even if you were asked, will you accept?
That's a hypothetical question. It depends on the circumstances, etc. But where I would be, I'll have to think about it, to be honest, Julius, is if I look at what President Weah said about his time as VP, his words was that for 12 years he was parked.
Yeah, park race car.
Right. Is that what I want to do? Right? So I was never asked, so I never had a chance to make that decision. But that's a question in my mind, is to go be parked for 12 years. My objective, Julius, for entering politics is to impact the lives, to change the lives of 5 million Liberians. The presidency is a job to do it. For me, the presidency isn't an ambition. The presidency is a means to an end. I don't know how to explain I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, it does.
The objective, the ambition is to change Liberia for the benefit of all Liberians. That is the ambition. And the job that allows you to do that is the presidency. So the presidency is a means to an end. I need help with some analogy to help people explain what I'm trying to say. So the ambition is not, look, I've been blessed. There's nothing in the job of the president that I don't have or haven't had, right? I've had nice cars. I got nice cars, nice house, nice home. At Coca-Cola, one of the departments that reported to me was the corporate fleet. We have 5 Gulfstream jets. I used to fly private jets. That is not the appeal. Not, you come in the room, everybody stand up. Hey, that doesn't mean anything to me. So the job is not the ambition. The ambition is to use the job to change the country, right? And if vice president doesn't allow you to do that, or being senator or representative, people say no government experience. But the government experience has not delivered for the Liberian people. Right? We are the 9th poorest country. 2 out of 5 Liberians go to bed hungry. So has that experience delivered has it made a difference in the lives of the Irish Liberians? There's an essay that the chair of the ANC Youth Congress wrote, Aliu Kaidi. I want to advertise it. I don't know if he's posted it online, but he should post it. And it's not advocating for me, by the way. But he describes the challenges of our country and where it is where it is, right? And it is those challenges that he described that we want to change. So,
will you run in 2029?
I will run in 2029. Yes.
Holding all factors constant.
Holding all factors constant. Correct. I like the qualification. Yes.
His name is Alexander Cummings, political leader of the Alternative National Congress. We now go over to you. Let's take some of your calls on 0777-700-995, 0555-995-995, the numbers to call. And you will be sure. Let me read some of, I hope, okay, yeah, he has a pen to jot down the concerns. Let me read some of the messages that have come in. This person says, Yahweh, let me read messages for it. We'll take the calls. Given the current state of affairs in Liberia, what do you consider the single most pressing challenge facing the country today? And what specific practical actions will you personally champion to address it if given the opportunity to serve as president? 2. Additionally, based on your daily... I think you answered that. I asked that question. So let me go to the next question. Additionally, based on your daily interactions with ordinary Liberians, what is the honest assessment of their mood, expectations, and confidence in the country's leadership? Emmett Coker sends in that one. This person says the National Youth Service was launched last year. Okay. This person, Christopher Mbala, says, so, Mr. Cummings, you did all these goodness, then you have been mute, sir. This is politics, mister. You have to speak out as a politician, not as a businessman. Christopher Bala says that. Hold on, folks. I want to read a few messages. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. Please find out from ABC whether or not he lived and studied in Illinois. Was he a member of the Liberian community in Illinois? OC, and if so, did he pay his dues? This is Dr. Artemus Gay sending in that. Artemus Gay sending in that one. Okay, so let's take the calls now. 777-700-995, 555-995-995. Welcome. Let's hear you all the way there from France.
Good afternoon, Julius. Good afternoon to Honorable Cummings.
Yes, go ahead.
I got two quick questions. I got two quick questions for Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings, if you are on show for today, somebody is trying to sell you, what's your work? Alexander B. Cummings, who wants to be president of Liberia, what's your work today? Secondly, when you write private jet, whenever you become president of the Republic of Liberia, will you prioritize private jet?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks so kindly. Let's remove overseas. Let's go to the U.S. Welcome. Let's hear you. It is too loud. Please call my people there. AB, please come here. We need you quickly. Yeah, Patrick. He said it's too loud there.
So maybe Julius, Mr. Cummings said it now. I think we're going to listen to it. But if you can bear me witness, this has been my argument on your show, that it does not matter who comes to power. But the problem here is that the life of a typical Liberian never gets better. This is the problem. Is this government doing some good? Yes. Did President Weah do some good? Yes. Did Ellen do some good? Yes. Are we short of some good in Liberia? No. But the life of a typical, like Mr. Cummings said, this is the problem. And how can we do this? Is to be sincere to ourselves and focus how to improve their lives. This is the issue. And I've said it, and I will keep saying it till all of us can grab this point that it's not about the coat suits we wear, it's about the common people. How can we help them?
Okay.
Mr. Cummings, thank you.
Thanks so kindly. Let's come to the local lines. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Lawrence Spencer. I'm living from town. So let me say good evening to Mr. Cummings. Look, yeah, it's saddening some of us Julius that we still have people like Mr. Cummings in this country and we're wasting our time. Listen to what the old man said. I mean, we should be in a hurry. Liberia, today we cannot even pose a civil electricity. Just recently, people bragging about our civil current. Where are we today? So look at all of the ideas the old man is propounding. And people will play politics with people like this. I think we cannot continue to talk down on our own people that went out there and made like brother Sean. There's many people nowhere, like you said, Julius Coca-Cola was not this family inheritance. But it was because of hard work, marriage, what we call marriage that took Mr. Cummings to the top. And you have these gullible politicians, they come and they keep the country's vision cycle. Look, Liberians, if we cannot vote for them 2029, then we are doomed. We the young people, our futures will be on our own hands.
Thanks so kindly. We'll hold you right there. Let's come on this one. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Judah. This is Delino Brian.
Go ahead, Engineer Brian.
I would like to say good afternoon to Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings, how are you? Happy New Year to you. I listened to you lengthily. And one thing I admire about you, your constructiveness and the mindset you have for Liberia. I think this is why we need for our country, regardless of politics. We need people, or true patriots, that can take the mantle of leadership for Liberia. But I have one question for you, Mr. Cummings. If you were president of Liberia, what will you do differently?
Okay.
How you alleviate the country from poverty? Thank you.
What will you do differently to alleviate the country from poverty? Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello.
Yeah, hello, Julius. How are you?
I'm fine. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Oh, this is John J. Backman, former Superintendent of Grand Bassa County.
Go ahead, former Soup.
Let me say good afternoon to Mr. Cummings. And since last year he visited my home, my father passed. I have not reached out. I have not seen him, but I want to say thank you for that.
Oh, he what, visited you?
Yeah, he visited my house in Russia.
Okay.
Here his wife.
So you see, we've not heard that one before. That's a good thing to hear.
Yeah, because and then I called to just ask him two quick questions, and I need your honest opinion and view on that. Again, in the last 6 years of former President Weah, we saw a much of you and the CPP in the international community, on the local scene. I have not seen that much of you under this regime. How could you feel sitting with President Joseph Newman Boaka, who went to the court to testify against you that you recorded the CPP document, that you authored the CPP document? Number two, I hear you talking about when Julia asked you about the fund to macro, government bringing 78 machine. I've not heard any query of you of the procurement processes that led to the coming of this yellow machine. The first one, they brought 35 yellow machine, but Deputy Minister Mamaka Ability and other people, over there they took it back.
Yeah, John, let's just make it speed up because we want to take more people. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so kindly. Let's come to this public line. Welcome. Let's hear you. Hold on. Yeah, you can go ahead. Hold on. I don't know why the volume is not up. Just wait. Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead now.
Yeah, you getting me, Julia?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, Momo Tinto for things, Julia. Let me say thank you, and let me say thanks to Mr. Cummings. I listen to him, but Julius, I think when the answer of the interview, I only admire the first part of the interview in which he started to explain about himself, his family, the kind of music he loves. That's a part of the interview I read. But when you guys get into the political aspect of the interview, I really don't understand. And Julius, it's just sad that I don't support and I don't go Mr. Cummings way politically because I think he messed up on it. People betray Musa ability, betray Musa ability, said that he will resign.
So and so, what is your question or what is your issue?
No, my issue is that I think Mr. Cummings should just do different things and forget about Liberian politics because the Liberian people don't see the way
who they
Liberian
see?
people see.
What is about him that you think they don't see him? He can be president.
He messed up because when the Liberian people wanted him to go as Arsenal brother Boaka, he turned it down.
But well, Chivo, have you asked President Boaka if he ever asked Cummings to be his running mate?
President Boaka never going to. President Boaka never went to him and say, "Oh, there's a bunch of Liberian people. He listen to the radio." We all.
But no, but Chivo, boss man, let's take it easy now. I want also understand it one clear. You want that Cummings to say, you want that Cummings to go to President Boaka and say, President Boaka choose me to be your running mate? Is that how it can work?
Big brother Julius, what I'm saying is that Mr. Cummings said that, why he said politically, he said for the Liberian people. But when the Liberian people are telling him, go as far as Boaka,
no, but it said Liberian people that can tell someone to go advise to someone, or they can tell the person, say, choose a person to be a running mate.
But he wants to lead the Liberian people, and the Liberian people that he wants to lead, telling him what he should be. So why you can't ask President Boaka, say why you never chose Cummings and you chose someone else? Definitely, actually, President Boaka, or Ken Boaka at the time wanted Cummings to be. My
man, see you, but welcome, and let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, quickly. Your line is terrible. I don't know. Perhaps you should shift your location a little bit. It is still bad. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, I just think for the interview, let me say hello to Mr. Cummings. Actually, I listened to the interview, but I have a question for Mr. Cummings.
Mm-hmm. What?
Hello?
Yeah?
I have a question for the guest. Come 2029, if he had been asked by the CDC to go as vice president to the former president, will he be waiting to go as vice president?
Okay, thanks so kindly. Let's come here. The lines are ringing all over. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yes, Julius. Let me say thank you to you and your guest, Honorable Cummings. I listen to him and I always follow him when he's on show. But one thing that is lacking in your life when you're reading the listing of things that he has done, Julius, he's silent and he's not boastful. Politicians in Liberia must be boastful. You go somewhere in the community, let people know, and build some of your own resources to the real people on the ground. People eat, people drink, this, that. Propaganda, the machinery, they own you. That's the only way you get presidency, but when you want to go in the community to teach you how to sell cold water and then that life will be better, they will see you as a weak president, they will see you as a weak person. So let's try to, share what he said. Let anywhere you go and let camera be, they make that money, let camera be on him. If they need, they will call BBC to even start speaking from Weah, to start speaking from Cummings. I'm telling you something.
Okay.
That's the only way.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so kindly. It's not easy. Let's see who's on this one. Welcome. Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah?
Yeah, this is Jefferson Knight.
Go ahead, Jeff.
And thank you, Julius, for putting me the opportunity. I listened to Mr. Cummings, and I think from his expose, his presentation, I think he's the best person right now. Comes 2029 to lead our country into the right trajectory in terms of addressing all those basic things, even if it is not 100%. But I think by electing Cummings in 2029 will help move our country forward. I just wanted to make that clear. Thank you very much.
Thanks so kindly for your call as well. Welcome. Let's hear you quickly.
And good evening to Mr. Cummings.
Can you please reintroduce yourself?
My name is Mamesi Kaba.
Okay, go ahead.
So I listened to most part of the interview, but I didn't end it because I needed to handle something. But I want to say thank you to him. It is a clear fact that I am a citizen, and I will continue to support former President Weah until he resigns from politics. However, I listened to a few of the calls, and I think Mr. Cummings made the right decision not to have gone as vice chancellor under Mr. Wakai, because that would have undermined his presidency, especially for the person he has presented himself to be. And Mr. Wakai has proven to be a very bad leader. He has proven not to understand what true leadership is. He has abused the rule of law, our laws in this country. He has created poverty, ever than what he meant.
So if for example, let's say former President Weah says in 2029, I mean, I really don't want to run, will you consider supporting Cummings?
Precisely, I think so, especially if he lives up to all of the things he has said. I would like to support him if President Weah is not in the race, of course. But I'm saying the worst decision he would have made if he had gone as vice president.
Well, at this point, there is no
accident to the country.
Okay, thanks so kindly. But what I'm saying is, at this point, there is no record that now President Wakai asked Mr. Cummings to be his running mate. So that whole conversation should not be happening, unless that kind of record comes up. Welcome, and let's hear you.
Good evening, Julius.
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening to Mr. Cummings and good evening to the listening audience. My name is Robert Ernest D.W. Wilson Sr., and I call from Monrovia.
Deputy Director of the General Services Agency.
Exactly. I've been constrained to call because Mr. Cummings talked about the ministerial complex. Though it's not an achievement to bring the ministerial complex, nor is it anything. But if that ministerial complex was going to remain deplorable as it was, Mr. Cummings was going to say that we get a donor project that the government abandoned local ministerial complex, how it dilapidated today. The president of Liberia and all of us, including GSA, decided that the donor project, we are going to attack it and we make it, we give it a facelift. And today, Liberia from all walks of life are commending the GSA. We don't see it as an achievement, but we see it as an embarrassment that the donated project will be abandoned for 6 years by the CDC, and we, the Unity Party, who negotiated and brought this project to fruition, will leave it the same way CDC leave it. So no, Mr. Cummings, that's an achievement, but it's a fact that the donor project was lifted.
Thanks,
Mr. Cummings, I would advise you to take this advice. Don't run for the president. They say, I know you came from Coca-Cola. Go to Maryland, where you came from. Run a representative or senator. Get a late gist of how government runs. Because the way you speak on public radio, they show that you know nothing about governance. Governance is different from running Coca-Cola for 17 men. There's 5 million people you are running.
You say what? Coca-Cola for 17 men?
I think they're trying to tell you in a layman term that.
But is the running cost and the running population of Coca-Cola not more than the government of Liberia?
Granted, you run the Coca-Cola, so many people are there from different countries that coordinate. So you get there to supersede it. The president you want to have a vision and know how governance is done. You should know how government as a whole, holistically, how the people are taken care of. So if you look at Mr. Cummings when he talk, you know that, then you go to Maryland and be senator or representative. So in the not too distant future, you can contest for the presidency.
Okay, thanks. So kindly, let's take others' time is almost out. Welcome, let's hear you.
Julius, how are you? This is Adam Akane, member of the Municipal Inter-Letter Bureau. Mr. Cummings, the only thing I want to tell you, Mr. Cummings, I engaged almost 25 acres of land for farm. We talk about agriculture. Mr. Cummings, we are advocates, no job. But Mr. Cummings, when you promise me, you just know me. You just empower me before anything come make it not success. Mr. Cummings, just promise me that you just give my material. Let me come for it tomorrow. I start my project. At the real time of bread. I thank you, Mr. Cummings. I'm not seeing you, but please don't forget when you're ready to close. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so kindly as well. Welcome. Let's hear you. Go ahead. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
There's a brother given home a full church silver this evening.
Okay.
I miss a good evening, Mr. Cummings. And I admire Mr. Cummings a lot. I miss a day, Mr. Cummings, how do you see when most of the believers said that if you now win the 2023 election, if you know the decision of 7-11, I'm going to resign. And up to now, Mr. Benedict now saying he want to take a seat on the parliament. Number two, How do you feel when you're calling for sanction of former President Weah administration? And then now we're not seeing you calling for sanction on Mr. Baga, even though Mr. Baga and minister are looking the state cover, and we're not seeing you speaking on the same way your vocal on your own side. How do you feel? Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, thanks so kindly as well. This will be the second to last one. Welcome, let's hear you.
Yeah, Julius Jeh, how you doing?
What is your name?
My name is Musa Sharif.
Former Representative, Kennedy District 2, Monserrado County. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I want to say thank you to your guest in studio. You know, Julius, it's difficult to discuss politics in Liberia because those that are in power, power is the only source of living in Liberia. So when you are in power, you must defend it viciously. So even somebody is saying something realistic for the fact that without power you can't survive, you would defend it viciously to the detriment of many people. The gentleman in the studio, Mr. Cummings, the political leader of ANC, he spread out a lot of good things that I think that covers leadership, honestly. For instance, he talked about the issues of businesses in Liberia. Can you imagine business registry? The gateway, that's the actual gateway to the Liberian economy, the business registry. That is where people should first register a business in Liberia, allowed to operate legally in Liberia, before you talk about the airports, before you talk about the seaports, before you talk about all of the ports. But that place is a chaos. Let me tell you that, it's a chaos. So if you don't make that place better for us, that's the issue. We talk about the banking sector in Liberia. People don't have access to finance in the country. That's one thing. We talk about the Ministry of Commerce. There's no price control. There's no consumer control. There is no way somebody can survive in doing legal business in Liberia. It is very difficult unless you are involved in the things that we consider out of virus.
Okay.
In Liberia, we need system, we need leaders, we don't need bigger experience. We need people with mindset to move the country in the right direction.
Okay.
Being
Thanks.
very precise.
Thanks so kindly, Musa. Let us say the government's spokesman, Daniel Sano, welcome. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Julius.
Yes, go ahead.
Let me say good evening to Mr. Cummings. I listened to him and I thought the conversation was going good, going very well until he decided to contradict some of the criticism that he has expressed about the government. So you listened to Mr. Cummings when he said his primary goal as president of the country will be to grow the economy. Liberians who are listening want to know how can Mr. Cummings grow the economy without expanding the road network, because just the other day, very disappointing, Mr. Cummings was among those who were saying that on quota the people will eat. That criticism clearly tells you that the government is building road, and in his thinking as political leader of the ANC, the roads are not important. The next thing I want to point out here is that it sounds very demeaning for Mr. Cummings, who has got all the experience, live in the advanced world, to come to Liberia. The country is challenged, and we all try to find solution to the challenges that we face as a country. But to try to equate the existence of the country to the stomach, that the whole country just living to eat, and Mr. Cummings say the growth of the country must be reflected in the stomach of the Liberian people.
Daniel, which of the countries on earth that is growing and developing, but the poor in the country hungry? Where?
That was very demeaning, and I can understand.
But how is it demeaning? Eating food is a basic need, Chief.
So Julius.
You ate before going to work. You even went for lunch. There is no way you will be an effective public servant without eating.
Nobody said that it is wrong to eat, but for the political leader of a party who is vying for the leadership of our country to say that everything about the growth and development of our country must be about the stomach, then I beg to differ, and I just wanted to say that in the name of politics, we all welcome the criticism in the opposition, but we have to be a bit realistic when we try to criticize government.
Thanks so kindly, Hori, that we come back to him. You listen to the call, sir. Let me squeeze in this message quickly. Because please, folks, sorry, we cannot take as the lines are not allowing me to do what I want to do. This person says, Andrew Kemokai, chairman of the professionals for Cummings, currently residing in the UK. My plea to Mr. Cummings is that in order to succeed in winning voters, he needs to create opportunity to meet people who are willing to share their concerns and experiences from a voter's perspective. The bureaucracy around him has caused many to turn their backs on him. Please let him reconsider this. Okay. Back to you, sir. The next, let's say 5 minutes.
Yes, thank you, Julius. There was a question about given my interactions.
Yeah. Before you do that. Yeah, that's the song right there. That's the song. Yeah.
Julius, you got a nice voice, though.
Maybe I can try. Folek Pengba said, please, Mr. Cummings, what we have done differently for us, the business community. Okay. So you can just roll through the concerns.
Yeah, I would try to do all of them. So there was a question about what I felt as the mood of the country, the expectations of the Liberians. I think many Liberians believe that there's got to be an alternative to the two dominant political parties. They're looking for a third lane, a third way. You know, they don't know who or what it is, but they know their lives are not changing fundamentally. And particularly young people, they're thinking, yeah, there's got to be something out there different. Somebody, some institution, whatever else. And I think that's the general sense I get. People are hopeful. They want something different. They want to see their lives improve. And they think there must be some alternative, some different way of managing and leading the country. There was a lot of suggestions about me needing to speak up more about what I do, so we will make sure we do that. There was a comment made that, yes, the life of the typical Liberian has not fundamentally changed, and somebody echoed that. There's a question about what I would do different. Again, I think focus on the economy, investing more in agriculture, not just in farming, but in processing, in value adding to the agricultural sector, investing in tourism, investing in housing. These are all job creators, by the way. As I mentioned, making loans available to market women, small Liberian businesses at reasonable terms so that they can make money. These are all examples of things that we would do different if given the opportunity. There was a question about me being very critical when I was in the CPP and not. So, I go back, Julius, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. All that criticism, they didn't get me anything. Right? So, but we are going to be critical. We took some time off. But in all of that period of being critical, I always offered alternatives. I always offer suggestions. I always offer solutions. I did that during the Weah administration, and I'm going to do it going forward. Yes, I'll be critical, but I'll offer alternatives. And I did it then, and I'm doing it now. And we will speak up, more often than we did the last 2 years, because there are a lot of opportunities that we see of things that can be done differently. The yellow machine stuff, I've been critical of it on an earlier. In fact, I think I may have done a post about the whole procurement process, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not that I've been completely silent about it.
Let me squeeze in this question because I think it's important.
Sure.
Ben Sauer says, you've had 2 election attempts, but unfortunately they didn't yield the desired results. What do you think went wrong, and how will you adjust your strategy to win over more voters in the next election?
Right. So let me just answer that one, then I can come back to the list if we have time. I think there were a few major challenges we had. One, is I let myself be defined by these adjectives, not friendly, elitist, the gay BS, and we didn't refute that enough. We didn't get Liberian people to know me, the real Alex Cummings. And so we're going to do that differently this time. We'll define ourselves and not be defined by others. We didn't focus enough on young Liberians, which is the majority of the population. We will do that differently. Our propaganda machinery, our communications, media, marketing was not effective. We'll make sure that is effective this time around. So those are some examples of what we'll do differently. Redefine myself in who I really am, focus on young people, get the political machinery correct, amongst many other things we'll do differently compared to the last 2 times. The deputy director of the GSA two comments. One was about the ministerial complex. Yeah, look, it's a good thing to paint it, right? But it shouldn't be considered a major complex. It should be business as usual. We should be maintaining the ministries. And my point is, we need to raise our expectations of what things to celebrate. And his question about not knowing government, if knowing government will deliver the same results we have for the past 178 years, then I don't want to know. I don't want that experience. So he can keep that experience, because we need to do things differently if we want to get a different result. Daniel Sando, I'm not even sure how to react to him. He's been abusive of me in the past, making disparaging statements and that kind of stuff. Deputy minister in the government. So I don't know if I should even react to him, but you responded well. And what people like Daniel don't understand, and many people, is, I said this earlier, this is not an either-or choice, either-or. We need to do both, and we can do both. Yes, we need roads. Yes, we need electricity, but we also got to take care of Liberian people's stomach. Hunger is a basic need, and this is not an Alexander Cummings statistic. We're among the poorest countries in the world, 9th poorest, and 2 out of 5 Liberians go to bed hungry. These are just facts that we can't get away from, and we need to do something about both of those things. And you can see the reaction to the President's State of the Union address. It wasn't very positive from the Liberian people. Forget all us political stuff. But the Liberian people were
Mr. Cummings,
we're all happy with that.
Thanks so kindly. The news is on our back.
Okay.
I want to say thanks for taking some time out here. We look forward to another one in the future.
We'll come back.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Julius.
That's how we go. His name is Alexander Cummings. The news is up next. My name is Julius Jeh. Tomorrow will be another day here.